Hello again, and welcome to our second session of Hebrew. Actually, this is the second session of week one. Today we're going to look at vowels, or in this session, we're going to look at vowels. I have here in front of me a sheet that shows you what Deuteronomy 6:5 would look like. This is how Deuteronomy 6:5 is going to look in a typical Hebrew text. Now, it's a consonantal text and it has no vowel pointing. But because we are not native speakers of Hebrew, we have the vowel pointings in our Masoretic text to help with pronunciation. And you can see this here in the red. So everything that's underneath and beside the consonants in the red, those are going to be vowel pointings. So this is our consonantal text with our vowel pointings. Now, Hebrew vowels can get a little complicated. There are rules, but every rule has an exception. So much of Hebrew is dependent, of course, on the rules. You need to know the rules, but there's an intuitive aspect to the Hebrew language, and as you familiarize yourself with the language, these things will just come to you intuitively. So here are our changeable long vowels. And again, all this material is in your book in the second chapter. These are your changeable long vowels. You have your comments, and it looks like a little A under the bed there. Then you have your serré, and the serré is two dots side by side. Let me see if I can get this where you can see a little bit better. Here you go, two dots side by side. And then the holum is a single dot up at the top of the bed there. And the comets is A, the serré is E, and the holum is O. And these are some of the pronunciations that you would have here. The comets makes an A sound as in father. The serré makes an E sound as in they. And the O, or the holum, makes an O sound as in roll. So you can see the A, E, and O sound there. And so that's why the comets is A type, the serré is E type, and the holum is O type. And that will, those are your basic long vowels. You'll see those again and again and again. I think the comets, the serré, and the holum are probably three of the more common ones. Now, you're going to have your short vowels. The patha is going to be a common vowel that you see over and over again in Hebrew. It's another very common vowel. So here are your short vowels. Let's get this here so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Let's try this. Your short A is the patha, and the patha is just a single dash underneath the letter. It's A as in bat. Then you have your E type. It's the sagol. It's three dots, like a triangle, beneath the letter, and it's E as in better. Then you have a single dot beneath the letter. This is the I type. It's a hirik, and it's I as in bitter. Then you have another comets. This is called a comets hatuf. And the comets hatuf, and you'll learn the rules about how to tell the difference between a comets and a comets hatuf as we go along. But the comets hatuf is an O type, and it makes an O as in bottle. And then there's the kibbutz. The kibbutz is three dots at an angle, and the kibbutz is the U type, and it makes the U sound as in ruler. Now, vowels, again, like I said, we'll learn later the rules between the comets and the comets hatuf. For now, though, let's just assume that whenever you see a word that has the little A underneath it, the comets, let's just assume that it's a comets and not a comets hatuf. And then we'll change that later as we get deeper into the rules. Then you have the hatef comet, hatef patha. The hatef patha is a dash, a single dash with two dots, and it's an A type, A as in amuse, and these are reduced or hatef vowels. Then you have the E type. This is the hatef sagol. You have your sagol and your hatef side by side, and it's E as in metallic. Then your hatef comets, and it has the O sound as in commit. And hatef means reduced. So you just have your hatef, which is your two single dots beneath the letter. You have hatef pathak, hatef sagol, and hatef komets. And this is your reduced A, E, and O sounds. Now, here's a summary chart that helps a little bit. Let's see if I can make my screen bigger here. There we go. That helps me tremendously. It doesn't do a thing for you. The summary of the vowel chart. You have your long vowels, your comets, saray, and your holum. You have your short, your pathak, sagol, hirik, comets hatuf, and your kibbutz. And then here you have your reduced, your hatef pathak, hatef sagol, and hatef comets. You're going to need to memorize all of these. And it's going to be important for you because when we start learning the rules of our verbs, we're going to be able to decline our verbs many times based on the use of vowels. And the vowels is going to tell us how to categorize or how to decline those verbs. So it's extremely important. Know your alphabet, know your begay kapat, know your gutturals, know your vowels. Make up, again, you can take an index card and write the Hebrew figure on one side and the translation on the other side, and test yourself on these over and over again until you know them. This is the foundation for Hebrew, and if you do not know these things, the alphabet, begay kapat, gutturals, vowels, then you will not have much to build on. Now my dogs are about to come in here, so if you see puppy faces jumping up in the screen, like this one, this is Jakey. Say hello, Jakey Bear. That's a good boy. I have two dogs. They're brothers, Jake and Levi. They look totally different, and they're my babies. And I've got guys cutting my grass right now, so they can't be outside. So I apologize, but it does add interest to the class. Now here we have vowels that have the hey. We have Hebrew, the vowel letters written with hey, and again it's comets hey, saray hey, sagol hey, holum hey, and we have A, E, and O types, and we have two different E types. The saray hey and the sagol hey are both E types, and so the comets hey is going to have the A as in father, the saray hey, E as in they, the sagol hey, E as in better, and the holum hey, O as in roll. You're going to find that that these are very similar to vowels that you've already learned, but they have the hey in front of them. Vowel letters written with hey are used only at the end of a word, as in Torah, law, and Yabna, he will build. So these are only written at the end of words with a hey. Now, just like we have vowels written with a hey, we have vowels written with a wa, or vowel. These vowels are often referred to as unchangeable long vowels because they will not or do not reduce or change. You have your holum wow, O as in roll, and a shurik, U as in ruler. And these are your wow or vowel vowels. You also have vowel letters written with a yod. You have the saray yod, the sagol yod, and the hirik yod. The saray yod is E as in they, the sagol yod is E as in better, and the hirik yod is I as in machine. These vowels are often referred to as unchangeable long vowels because they do not reduce or change. So let's look at the hey, the vowel, and the yod and kind of summarize here. With the hey, you have your comets hey, your sagol hey, saray hey, and holum hey. With the wow, you have the holum wow and the shurik. With the yod, you have the sagol yod, the saray yod, and the hirik yod. Now, not only is it important for you to memorize these vowels, but it's also important for you to know that the sounds that these vowels have, because being able to do a transliteration, which a transliteration means that you actually write out how to pronounce the word, it's going to help you immensely in the memorization of your vocabulary. Now here we have the schwa. This symbol, it's just two dots beneath the letter. The symbol is called a schwa. It's not listed in the vowel charts because it's not like any other vowel. The schwa does not belong to any vowel class, nor does it belong to any vowel type. There are two types of schwa in the Hebrew alphabet, or in Hebrew, the silent schwa and the vocal schwa. And we'll learn a little bit later how to tell the difference between the silent and the vocal schwa. Now here we have the Dagesh Forte. We've already learned about the Dagesh Lean, and the Dagesh Lean and the Begay Kapat letters change the way that those letters are pronounced. The dot in the Beth above is called a Dagesh Forte. It looks exactly like the Dagesh Lean, but it's used to double the consonant. So that would be B up there, bait, bait. And the dot, the Dagesh Forte, is just a doubling dot. For example, the Hebrew word Hashamayim, the heavens, has a Dagesh Forte in the sheen. So it is rendered, therefore, as two sheens. Hashamim. So it's actually Hshshmim. Would be kind of the transliteration. You can see it there, the Hashamayim. The Dagesh Forte may occur in any consonant except the gutturals, and it will not occur in the gutturals. And the yod, the het, the hey, the aleph, and the resh. So this Dagesh Forte will not occur in your gutturals. Now there are 4 Hebrew letters that we refer to as gutturals. These gutturals will be the beginning of sorrow, because when we get to the verbs, these gutturals, they're beautiful verbal rules for Hebrew, and the gutturals break every one of them. And so for each of the gutturals, you'll have to memorize and work with a totally different paradigm when we get to the verbs, which will be at the end of the semester and the beginning of next semester. So here are the gutturals. Know these and know these well. The 4 Hebrew letters are called gutturals. They're called gutturals because they are pronounced in the back of the throat. Now, of course, resh, ayin, het, hey, and aleph. I'm sorry, I totally did that backwards, just like I was reading Hebrew. Aleph, hey, het, ayin, and resh. Sometimes resh. Gutturals and resh cannot take a Dagesh Forte. Gutturals cannot take the vocal schwa, but may take a reduced hatef vowel. The consonant resh can take the vocal schwa. Reduced vowels are always vocal, they are never silent, and these gutturals prefer the A-class vowels. So they're going to always go back, and the vowels are going to always go back to an A class instead of an E or an O or the U class. So memorize these 3 rules with regard to the gutturals. The gutturals and resh cannot take a Dagesh Forte. Gutturals cannot take a vocal schwa. So if you see the 2 dots underneath any of these, you know that it's not a vocal schwa, that it's a silent schwa. But they may take a reduced hatef vowel. The consonant resh can take the vocal schwa. Reduced vowels are always vocal, they are never silent, and gutturals prefer an A-class vowel. So that's it, and I will see you again in just a moment with regard to pronunciation. So I'll be back.